Hello, Kyle here. I am going to review the basically the season 3 of The Boys. I started with a couple of reviews for the first number of episodes for this series on my channel, and then it got to the point where so much content was coming out that I had to kind of put a hold on reviewing The Boys, and I decided to just wait to do a series review. And I'm glad I did, because I think that this is one of those rare instances where I did not go into this show being like, this is the best show on TV, this is the best, Marvel show on TV that they've made, this is the best comic book movie show, I went into this kind of a bit more patient, and this show now is the best show, at least this season. It's the best show I've seen this year on television. I think that the writers, the producers, Eric Kripke, Seth Rogen, they did an incredible job on this season of The Boys. Every single character was given something important, something interesting, something deep, no pun intended, to work with, and I'm just so gratified that we were able to get a season of television that lived up to what the show has promised and also what the season has promised. Because if you watch the first number of episodes in this season, you can think to yourself, this has a chance of just spiraling out of control, and by the time we get to the finale, it might become a mess. But the writers of this show were really able to tap into focusing on the characters, giving us enough time. I think the length of each episode was perfect at the 1 hour, 2-minute range. I thought that the focus on the characters worked. We got so much great backstory for Butcher. We got some incredible character work with Homelander. We always get great character work with Homelander, but in this season in particular, we got some phenomenal scenes and moments with Anthony Starr's performance as Homelander that he definitely deserves an Emmy nomination for, because he just knocks it out of the park. Just to go a little bit more into Homelander, the fact that he has to deal with reining in his power, but then in a couple of episodes into the season, he finally gets to actually pretty much take over Vought for himself and get Stan Edgar away from the control. It becomes so tense, and you feel like Homelander could literally snap and kill everybody in a minute, and that adds for such great drama. But yet at the same time, you sympathize with Homelander. You actually care about what's going to happen to him. What is his role as a father going to be? How is he going to deal with the public's perception on him if he does turn? And you know that no matter how evil Homelander might be, there is still a bit of moral and morale and just, I think, honor to him, that he does not want to kill everybody, because he knows that once he kills everyone in the world, then he will be the villain. He won't be the hero in his own story. And and you have to attribute a lot of this to just Anthony Starr's performance, because if it wasn't for him, I don't know how charming and how interesting Homelander would be to watch. Another standout of this season was Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy, one of the best characters in this show and in just TV this year. I can't get over how vile of a character he is, yet once again with The Boys, they find a way to perfectly blend an evil character's motives with a character that you somewhat can sympathize with. And that was in the case of Soldier Boy in this episode, where we learned that he felt like he was nothing to his father. And then when he finally got the VOT, the Compound V, he became still a weakling in his father's eyes. And you can understand what that can do to a person, because it had its own effect on Butcher, as we learn about what his father did to him and his young brother Lenny. And you see how even though they kind of went down different paths, they still kind of met each other near the end, and they weren't all that different in what they were trying to accomplish. But this series just continued to manage to develop these characters like Huey and his relationship with Annie/Starlight. That was one of the best moments of this series. Another great moment of this series is Mother's Milk and his little girl, that he has to care about how his own image applies to her, and how his father and how even his grandfather's death affected his parenting and what he did to get to the place he got to, and how he feels about Soldier Boy. Another great moment of this series is between Frenchy and Kimiko, like one of the best romances that you could possibly see. You just cannot help but love them on screen when they're on screen together, and Kimiko's like need to her like urge to speak, yet she can't, but the way that she really wants to sing and dance. And I was having a conversation with a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago about Miss Marvel, which, as you've watched this channel, you know I really do enjoy the series. But one of my friends mentioned how the show kind of was no longer the more creative and flamboyant, vibrant, energetic show that it started out being. And I will say that The Boys at least has maintained its consistency and tone and its style, its visual style, where you see like so many episodes where Kimiko's just dancing and there's like a little musical number in one moment, and then there's a moment where she's viciously fighting these characters and slashing their faces off. I mean, I just can't get over how good this series was this season. And it's seasons like this that really make a series as a whole even better, because it's very rare that a third season for a television series is not only good, but the best season they've done. Because Stranger Things, I think season 3 is also the best season they did. It's really hard to have that, because there are so many shows that really kind of fall by the wayside in season 3. Arrow had that. The Flash had that. I would argue Game of Thrones, in a way, kind of had that. And yet, these shows, especially The Boys and Stranger Things, they are written by such great writers, and the entire cast and crew is just phenomenal in their performances and in their work. And I mean, I really do feel for all these characters. I genuinely care about each one when they appear on screen. And I think also what's good about this season is the way it ends. You know, they're going to make a season 4. They renewed the show for a season 4. But in a way, the ending of this show still, I mean, I would say is an ending. It ended the storyline they were going for in this season. And that is something that I've been very upset about with many other shows I've seen in the past number of years, that they have a season of television that they don't realize is a season of television, and they end up ending it off on this gigantic cliffhanger without resolving the story. And in the case of this show, they do resolve the storyline of Soldier Boy. They resolve the storyline of Black Noir, which is tragic, and it just hurts when you watch how he was unable to actually even lay a finger on Soldier Boy. It has so much great commentary on just like the Black Lives Matter movement, on even the way that the media perceives like during the pandemic. They had some interesting videos parodying the Imagine video that a bunch of famous celebrities did in the beginning of the pandemic. It just is really, they know what they're doing on this show, and they're doing a wonderful job. So if you haven't seen The Boys already, just go out and watch it, because it's like the best show on TV right now. And if you have, let me know what you think. Were you satisfied with the season finale? Were you satisfied with season 3? Were you not? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, thank you guys, and have a great day. Bye.